Hi, my name is Mesia Mwangoka from Tanzania Breweries. I think after the techies, I don't know how I'm going to cover that gap in terms of that technical know-how. So I hope you can forgive me when I'm very basic in my presentation. I have a very short presentation and an animated video of sorts, which we'll talk around. But basically, I wanted to just showcase what we do around the value chains on blockchain. All right. So I hope the room know who we are. So as TBL, we're the oldest and the oldest brand in Tanzania, the oldest company. We're born in 1933, way before even we're independent during the colonial times. So as old as we are 88 years old, but our goal is literally to lead in digital innovation. So grandpa, that is really innovative. So we're really excited about that journey in terms of how can an 88-year-old grandpa be so digitalized. So we definitely are one of the most valuable company in the country. So according to the recent data which was published, and we're really excited in terms of some of the issues that we work in the government across. And we have over 1 million jobs that we affect in the value chains for TBL. We contribute significantly to the economy. About 0.5% of the GDP comes from TBL alone. So really exciting journey for us. Okay. Oh, sorry. I'm still learning how to use the clicker, so you can forgive me for that. So one of the things that I'll deep dive into, because I know that this is a very technical meeting focused around the value chains. One of the things that we normally focus on doing, we have these things that we call the Sustainable Development Goals for ABI. ABI is our mother company, so I'll be using those interchangeably between TBL and ABI. So we have these four sustainability goals, which we aim by 2025 to have reached 100% across. So we want 100% of our farmers to be directly contracted by us by 2025. We want to achieve 100% on water stewardship, meaning we want to really focus around improving our water usage. Another aspect, we're looking at climate action, where we're saying 100% of we're using a lot of renewable energy sources. The last one, which is circular packaging, because being a beer company, we really want to make sure that all the packaging we're using is recyclable or it's literally environmentally friendly. So that's one of the aspects that we look at. But my focus today will be on smart agriculture. That's where the blockchain technology comes in. So basically, the goal is to have our farmers skilled, connected, and financially empowered. So the last aspect there is very critical for my next presentation. So you know what we produce across the markets. So Kilimanjaro is one of the most favorite brands. I'm not going to talk about that. So basically across the value chains, we have about 4,500 farmers that we directly contract in Dodoma and Karatu across those regions in Manyara. So, and then we're piloting grape project. I won't talk about that much, but our biggest projects are the sorghum one, and barley, we're amplifying that in the next 2 years. So basically for farmers, we have direct contracts, meaning we've signed contracts with payment in terms of the next 3 years. They know how much we're paying them. They know how much we want them to produce for us for that particular year. And we also do skills development for them. Okay, so basically, sorry, I'll go backwards a little bit. So within these farming communities, one of the things that we tried to see was within the financial empowerment aspect, how do we really make payments for the farmers? Because at the moment, most of the payments that we make is very manual. So the farmer goes to the aggregator who buys products on behalf of the company, and we have to manually pay the farmer either by cash or by going to the bank, which is a very long process, and everything is written manually. Large volumes of books. So year in, year out, and there's no digital trace. So the farmer, even if he goes to the bank to say, yeah, every year I sell 10,000 kgs of sorghum, he has no evidence of that, because most farmers don't have bank accounts. So that's one of the things that we decided to say, okay, how do we really resolve this problem for farmers? And that's how the blockchain technology came into play. So basically how it works is that we partnered with BanQ. BanQ is a software service company that provides the blockchain technology for us. So it's exciting to hear that actually Africa Blockchain Center actually can do those kinds of things. Maybe that's one of the things we can look at in the future to say, how do we even localize this? So BanQ is our partner globally. They work with us in Africa, Latin America, but we're piloting this in Tanzania. And we're the first company actually to pilot a blockchain technology system in Tanzania, and we're really excited. So we actually piloted it in August of this year. We're still learning first early phases of the induction process. What we have in Tanzania, the beauty is that we have M-Pesa already, or mobile money. So we already integrated blockchain to be linked to mobile money. So what it means is that it removes the need for the farmer to actually have a bank account at the end of the day, but it also provides that digital transaction for the farmer. So I'll skip the slide and I'll go to how actually the BanQ process works. So how it works is that the farmer comes to our aggregator. So these are centers where we use these cooperatives or companies that buy on behalf of the company to these farmers that we have contracted. So they take the crop, so sorghum or barley, to the farmer, and then it's weighed, and the quality is, they look at the quality test as well. But within that, they enter the details. So the aggregator himself has like an iPad of sorts. So he enters the details, the name of the farmer, who are you, where are you from, your age, your ID number. So the basic necessity is the ID, basically. So we use normally NIDA. That's the most basic standard. So once that is entered into the system, the farmer receives a code. So the first code is like a 6-digit code, which tells him that you have submitted 10,000 kgs of sorghum for this price. Your total is this much, and this is your payment transaction. So the farmer is happy with that verification of the details. They accept, and then the transaction goes through, meaning that the cash now goes into his M-Pesa account if he's happy. If he doesn't have an M-Pesa account, he's given another set of codes where they can actually, a blockchain of codes, basically, where they can take to a bank or any cash point and secure that for cash. So pretty much what the blockchain is the cash transaction. It becomes his cash in that manner. So as you can see, the whole process is very seamless in the sense that it doesn't actually require the farmer to have a bank account. All he needs, the farmer, or a smartphone for that matter. The farmer can usually use the tochi, they can actually use those to do this whole transaction. So we find that it's a very efficient way of working, especially in these smallholder organizations where people don't have even access to data in the first place. So some of the key advantages that we're seeing is that it creates actually an economic passport for the farmer. So basically, year over year, the digital transactions are very visible, and the farmer can actually access that digital passport over a period of time, and they can use that now to access things like loans, inputs from different sources. They can even get things like crop insurance, for example, using the data that they have. And one of the other things that we like is that it also is geotagged, meaning it provides data in real time, where, how, and exactly what happened to that farmer. So there's no room actually for fraud or theft. And the fact that they can actually access the amount from mobile money. So we've actually partnered with Vodacom for this particular project. And Vodacom, actually, most of our farmers have registered them through the M-Pesa, especially the piloted ones. And then over time, we can see how we can scale them up. So this has been our very interesting sort of journey as we piloted this phase. So basically, one of the things that we've noticed as we learn, like I said, we started in August, and I didn't want to bring any data with us because it's still very early days for us to really assess. But one of the key challenges that we've looked at is the issue around the data quality, in terms of, as we're uploading this data, most of these aggregators that we work with, they're used to really doing things manually. So they don't understand that actually doing things digitally is very useful. So they still go back to trying to do things as manual as possible. So that's one of the aspects that we looked at around. And there's a need actually for training or capacity building for those aggregators. Another thing that we looked at was around the farmer or adaptation. There was a lot of underestimation in terms of, will the farmers accept the system? But the moment the pilot were started, farmers were really keen actually to jump onto the technology. So this whole myth around, farmers do not embrace technology is really removed entirely, because these farmers are really keen to try new technologies across. And then definitely and most of the issues that we had is like, there was an assumption that we have to create new IDs for farmers, but we realized that actually, basically, most farmers have already NIDA cards, so we piggybacked on that. And there's a need, obviously, for training and communication. But the key one, which was really a biggest challenge that we had, was the partner rollout. So as I mentioned, we partnered with mobile money, telecoms network, and one of the key challenges we had was the understanding for the company around how blockchain works and how actually these transactions, the moment they receive these transactions, how valid it is, the exchange of the technical details was really a bit of a challenge, and it still continues to be a bit of a challenge in that space. But like I said, it's a pilot. We're still learning from both parties, but also trying to build their capacity as well for them to understand how they can leverage on this technology. So so pretty much these are some of the farmers that we work with. Most of our farmers are actually Maasai, so it's very interesting to see Maasai farmers in Karatu. So my presentation ends here. I had a small animation that I prepared. So that was like a summary of basically what I just said. Thank you, everyone. So, perfect. Yeah. So what I like about the blockchain technology that we adopted is that it simplified the process. When we check with the teams, manually it used to take about 2 hours for a farmer between buying, weighing, and doing everything else. With the blockchain technology, it takes at most 20 minutes, 30 minutes max. Between the transaction weighing and logging of details. And it really changed, it has changed so far the farmers' lives. We haven't recorded that, as I mentioned, but hopefully next year we can do a more bigger space with the learnings that we have, because we're trying to collect as much data and comparison analysis as much as possible. So next year when we present, I think it will be more very technical understanding of how actually it has worked. So yeah, so to my learning for the panels, for the members of the audience, is that blockchain is as easy as that. It's not very complicated. It is complicated perhaps to build and design, but once you start using it, it's as simple as that. Farmers in Karatu, and you saw these farmers are like Maasai, hardly go to school, most of them, and they can use blockchain. So this is really an impressive journey for us, and we're really excited to see how it would turn out in the next few years. And we hope we can partner with some of these startups that we can see here in the future. We have many other spaces that we'd like to innovate on, and we can discuss offline around blockchain, and really nice to unpack that further. Thank you very much. Any questions?